Yeah, it's really good, mate. Your adductors, your hamstrings have all thickened up, your lats as well, and that's perfect for PCA because they like that X, you know, so that's exactly what we want. But yeah, awesome, really happy. We'll do, if you just go, like just in the centre spot, just go through some mandatories, we'll get some photos as well. We're going to your front. And like all those shots will come to life as we start tapering down, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like at the moment you just got to focus on like the silhouette, you know? And like the muscle that's come down. There's a lot of new muscle. We in? We rolling? We good? So Sian's had a delt curfew. I think in the off season I had her training delts once a week. And now it's like, it's a little bit more now because obviously we've got to match her recovery and prep, but yeah, they're an area we certainly don't need any more of. But yeah, so this is Sian, guys. Sian is, how far are we at now? 18 weeks. So Sian's been on board with myself since the beginning of the year, so January. Yeah, January Sian came on board. Last year her show season, PCA, you placed third in the finals. So in the regional, second in the regional, third in the finals, and that was obviously PCA British finals. So our main goal this year is obviously moving that third upwards. We're trying to take it to a first place, so we're gunning for the PCA Pro. Like we've made it clear that's our goal, those are our intentions. So that's what we're going to be working towards. Obviously, we've only had a relatively short period of time together sort of before going into the deficit. So we had about 3-4 months, obviously, until we started dieting around about 21 weeks out. So we've been dieting for about 4 weeks now, about 4 weeks. So in that time period, we've just looked to just basically drive the surplus as much as we can, you know, push training volume, push intensity. We've had a big bias towards what we've been trying to essentially grow, which is her lower body, just to match obviously her shoulders. So we've had a lot of volume on glutes and hamstrings. She's been training glutes like 4 times a week. 9 times a week. Yeah, the Casey glute formula, and it's worked. You know, we've definitely added some good quality tissue. Had a look over her now. You know, looking really, really good. I'm really happy with where she's at the moment, how she trains, how she applies herself, and I'll just be sort of making sure, with Sian only being about an hour and 10, hour and 20 away, we'll just have frequent visits, sort of, especially as we get later on in prep, just so I can kind of, you know, look over her, and especially as we get closer towards sort of stage condition, that'll be a really good time just to make sure, you know, we're exactly where we need to be. But yeah, just had a look over her today, really happy with where we're at. We've got 16 weeks, so at this point in time, it's a case of just, we still want her recomp in. We don't want to be getting massive drops in scale weight. We don't want to be getting, you know, driving a massive deficit at the moment. We're just simply trying to get her to still get stronger at this point in time, still adding muscle and just slowly visually changing the look, which is exactly what's happening. We was just saying a minute ago, it's that transition from the off season into prep. Sometimes it's like the most difficult thing, especially when like Sian's like hella busy. She doesn't stop. So she's obviously training here herself. She works here. She's got posing clients. She's posing a lot of the Team KC girls as well, which is fantastic. She's very good at what she does. But it also means she's very busy. So, you know, adapting from having that flexibility in the off season to all of a sudden, I've got to have this meal here, I've got to do this cardio here. Sometimes that transition can take a few weeks. I mean, she doesn't skip a beat, but sometimes just kind of getting into that prep mode can take a few weeks, but I think we're there now. Those are our ambitions for the year, you know, and in terms of how she done last year, just a little bit more muscle in the right places, a little bit more conditioning, and, you know, she'll definitely be in with a shout. So that's the goal. Cool. So a bit of a rundown on today, guys. So I'm in with Steve. Steve is 16 weeks out from his first classic show. So you've done men's physique before. This is our first classic show. When was the last time you competed?
2016.
We're talking a long time ago, 7 years ago.
I've only been training like 2 years.
Only been training a couple of years. Training. Exercising.
Yeah.
I've been working with Steve for about a year now.
Nearly.
Yeah, getting on for a year. Initially just a recon, just to kind of tidy up and see where we're at and what we've got. And I think in that initial dieting phase, we saw such a drastic change to Steve's physique. I mean, the changes were pretty phenomenal, weren't they?
Yeah.
In terms of going through that process of taking that athlete and saying, right, let's get you close to stage conditioning and see what we've got. And that's always sort of an initial standpoint that I like to do with my clients. So we can then realistically make a timeline of how long do we need until we're competitive. And we've done that initial diet, and to be honest, like, you grew within that dieting phase.
I was a mess as well.
Huh?
I was a mess as well, so I was a slob.
I wasn't going to say that. But we saw the physique change drastically.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a diet, he grew in that phase. And we got to the point sort of back end of last year where it was like, okay, this is like, we could have kept dieting and put you on stage then. But we had the reverse phase. We've had a very productive reverse phase, to be honest. You know, we've put on a lot of tissue. Our main thing with Steve, and as you'll see when we take a look at him later, is that he's got very big legs, and initially when we jumped on board, we needed to get the upper body to match the lower body, to bring that proportion and balance, and I think we've done that remarkably well in a relatively short period of time.
Even though the legs grew with it as well.
The legs still grew. But what I say to Steve and what I say to other individuals is there's nothing wrong with having a strong point. Like, obviously we want balance and symmetry, but as you'll see later, you know, Steve's strong point, it is his legs and his quads in particular. But you come out in a lineup of athletes and you've got a fucking really, you know, amazing strong point, you're gonna get those eyes on you, you know. So there's nothing wrong with having a strong point. You know, we accentuate that strong point, we make the quads even better, and we just match the quads with the upper body as well. We've definitely done that. So we're now obviously in our first prep together, 16 weeks out. Obviously today just going for a leg session, and yeah, looking forward to it. We're gonna have a look at Steve at the end of the session, and obviously being in RIP, we've got some really nice equipment, so we're just gonna kind of merge the session today, use some of their different pieces of kit, and get after it. This is a really nice adductor because a lot of the time in an adductor you're in that position, and naturally, because you've got those hamstrings in a flex position, when you start reaching towards failure, it's hard for them not to assist because they're a synergist in that adduction movement. But having them extended, it's hard for a muscle to contribute when it's in that extended weakened position. So it's all on your adductors. So as you start getting to that point of failure, you can't take it away from your adductors. So it's a really, really nice bit of kit. If your gym's got one, use it and get strong on it. Good. Good, mate, really good. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Yeah. Come on. Get it. Yeah.
So we started on adductor, and now we've got top set back off on this really, really nice line hamstring. The profile on this is really nice little drop off in the lengthen, so you can just take it through that full range and just keep that tension where you want it. We've got a couple of sets on this, and as I said, we capitalise on the kit they've got here. They've got a really nice horizontal leg press, which we're going to go get stuck into, and then we're going to do the hack. They've got a cybex hack squat here as well, so those are going to be our two main movements, and then we're going to do some Bulgarians, finish with some leg extensions. I might go easy on the leg extensions because I've got a bit of a knee issue, but Steve hasn't, so.
I feel comfortable on it.
So the main goal for today's session is to beat Steve, but also to try and keep up with what he's doing on everything.
I thought I was keeping up with you.
The usual trend of this series so far is that all my clients are stronger than me. But that's what we want because I'm doing my job right. Good, now we work. Now we work, Steve, come on. And again. Finish. Good, slowly down. Well done, mate. I was just saying to Steve a minute ago, everyone sort of distributes their body fat differently. And like, typically Steve has a little bit more around the midsection, but the legs are already coming in. Like, your hamstring separation on your check-in photos is already there.
Yeah.
And it's like, a lot of the time, because that waist comes in last, it can feel as though you're going slower, but like, my legs are like that 2 weeks out. How's that?
Damn genetic. Come on. I'm here.
Top set back off in here. Well, should we add a 20 rep in? Let's fucking do it. Let's fucking do it, mate. So we'll do top set, 20 rep and then horizontal. No grounding today. I actually remember my vibrams. Tell you what, just being back on this hack in this position reminds me of prep last year. We got to the stage where pretty much every weekend I was just down and ripped, just new environment. It's nice to travel for your sessions, you know, in prep. And week after week, just battling it out on this hack squat. It's just brought it all back, you know. Last time I was here, I was a little bit leaner than I am today. But yeah, it's a cool gym. This is a nice hack squat. Just saying to Steve, it's slightly different to the one that I'm used to and definitely different to what he's used to. So just the application of those feeder sets today, warming into that new movement pattern is going to be vital just to make sure that, you know, we're accustomed to that slightly different foot positioning, angle, etc. So we'll take our time before we load up on it. There's a reason behind one knee wrap today. Basically, I lost the other one. So, what did you say? Yeah. So I've got this really cool habit. I've had it ever since I was young, of losing shit. Just lose shit all the time. I've actually got about 4 of these, and I've actually only been able to find one for today. So I've lost the other somewhere. I don't know where they are, but it's had to buy another replacement. But this is the worst knee, so we're accommodating for this one today. Oh yeah.
Come on, get up.
Oh!
Get up.
Those are the sets that make the difference. The ones you get nervous about the night before. You bitch out of those sets, it's going to show on show day. We never ever bitch out on those sets. Yes, come on, come on. Drive! Overshot that too much. Overshot it. Yeah. Drive. Yes, yes. And again now, little pause. Big one out of the hole. Drive! One more, come on, it's there. Take this rep, drive, drive. Brilliant, mate. Oh. So we're moving into this plate loaded horizontal press now, which is really, really nice. In terms of Steve's volume and my volume, it's a little bit different. So Steve's going to do one top set on here. I'm going to do the same because we've done the 20 rep on the hack, and then we're going to move on to Bulgarians where I'm going to also do one set. Steve's going to do a top set on the back off. My volume's just baseline at the moment because of the phase that I'm in. Steve's got a little bit more. And then we're just going to finish on some leg extensions where we're going to go top set back off for Steve, and I'm probably going to be doing a little bit of ISO work and just some high repetition stuff. I'm doing, at the moment, just a little bit of rehab for my patella tendon, which is not really my friend at the moment. So I'm going to be doing that. Steve's going to be doing that, and then we'll box it off. Oh. Nice. Yes. Good, Steve. This is you now. This is you. Good. No, I'm dead. Well done, mate.
He has these long rests and I still can't keep up with him. I'm so used to fucking going not long after the set. No matter how much rest I have, I just die.
So what you'll see there as I'm doing these Bulgarians, and what's really important in any quad-based movement where you're trying to bias the quads, or any movement in particular where you're trying to bias a specific muscle group, what's really important is to make sure that as you're taking that movement through its full contractile range, you're focusing on the application of that tension exactly where you want it. And I know that sounds really obvious, but something I see a lot is people just going through the motions and moving load without really any thought process as to what's moving that load, where's the tension. You know, and in a quad-based movement in particular, what you'll find is if you're doing an exercise such as a leg press, a Bulgarian split squat, where we're trying to put that focus through those quadriceps, if you're just bouncing out of the hole and you're quickly changing direction, or there's not any focus on that eccentric portion of the movement, so the lowering phase, you'll find that other muscle groups will start to overtake. And that's all right in a leg press. There's a lot of glute recruitment in a leg press. There's a lot of glute recruitment in a Bulgarian, but if we're specifically trying to bias that muscle group, which in this instance we are, it's really important to make sure that you're paying attention to these little things. You know, slowly controlling the eccentric, changing the direction. When I do the Bulgarian, as I'm going from that length and range in the bottom into that contracted position, I'm not focused on just coming up away from the floor. I'm focusing on, and as you'll see, a short little micro pause where I'm isometrically recruiting the quads, and I'm not coming up, I'm contracting the quads out of that length and range. And that's important. And the guys and girls doing that and then getting stronger, those are the ones making, you know, big leaps forward with muscular development. So just pay attention to these small things because it makes a massive difference, you know. Lovely, mate. Now we work. Yes, again like that. Come on. Yeah, finish. Well done. Good set. I was just basically saying, would you say it's like a confidence thing?
Yeah. Being able to build a physique that I feel is worthy for a gym. Give me the confidence to train in environments like this.
100%. That's
and
cool,
it
man.
all stemmed from when we started together. So,
that's cool, mate. That's cool to be a part of, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I know it's, sometimes it can be a big thing, especially like I know you're a little bit sort of reserved with like posts and stuff and things like that. But I've definitely seen that change in you massively over the last year. And that for me, that's more important than like any trophy or, I mean, we're gunning for a trophy as well, but
oh yeah,
that's the most important
thing. We do
thing.
this because we want to win.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And like I was saying earlier, like essentially a lot of people, like competing's just the end product. Competing's just like showcasing your passion. At the end of the day, like you compete because you love to train.
Oh yeah.
So many people, it's the other way around. Like it's not really that passion to train, they just almost want like the competing and everything that comes with it. Because it looks very appealing, but the reality of it is, it's hard. You know, it's hard.
Yeah, and you got to do it if you love it, because you love it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And that's why some people get a little bit bitter, I think, if they don't do well.
Yeah, definitely.
but
like you said, if you go into your show season with no expectations and just aim to bring the best you possibly can, it makes the whole experience so much more enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just love this shit. I fucking love it.
Me too, man. Me too.
And again. Yeah.
Yeah. Rehab. We were just talking, they've got like loads of Perform flavours of whey here, and we were just talking about the different flavours of whey protein, and talking about the coconut one, and Steve just goes, what's that coconut naan bread? Peshwari naan. I fucking love naan bread.
I love naan bread. Oh.
That's someone who's 16 weeks out. You could just change conversation to a different type of food at any moment.
The funny thing is, 5 weeks ago, I couldn't even stomach that food. I didn't even want to look at it.
Yeah, I know.
And now it's like,
It's amazing how quick like the appetite just shifts. You know, once you start pulling down to the deficit, it's like, yeah, I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
But it's a nice hunger at the moment,
I love
right?
it. Yeah.
It's not like unbearable. It's like
no.
you just enjoy your food. You know?
Yeah. I'd rather be hungry than full, honestly.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I say peak off-season pushing food is harder than peak off-season diet.
Yeah.
they're both hard in their own ways, but. So what you saw there a minute ago is I'm not doing a working set on here just because I've got, every now and then my knee just plays up. So I'm just doing a little bit of rehab at the end of every leg session, just going into sort of 45-degree extension at the knee and just isometrically holding that position. So the tendons basically respond very well to isometric stress and eccentric loading. So just by doing a couple of sets, 20-second holds on the end of a leg session, it's just going to help kind of re-ravel those unraveled fibers, if you like, and just help. It's just a tendinopathy I've had ongoing for forever. So we're just kind of getting on top of that, making sure that's in a good place before then reintroducing leg extensions back. Oh, yeah. That one's cool on you. We do like hang and relax, like, yeah, that's really, do a bit more of a twist. Yeah, that's cool, mate. Like with the hamstring, when you're like, when the waist is in, yeah. Nice. I tell you what, mate, as you're starting to even just pull off a little bit, like you can see the new muscle in your upper body. Like you can really see, there's more there, mate, just hanging off you, you know? Push them elbows out a bit more. Yeah, that's it. Here it is. It's cool, mate. And there we go, guys. That is the session. A very, very productive one. I really like this gym. You know, I come down here in a lot of my last prep, and it's somewhere I'll continue to come, you know, especially sort of seeing clients and overlooking everything. But Steve's in a good place, you know, 16 weeks, and he's already starting to really come in, the lower body. And as we're starting to pull the body fat off, we're seeing a new muscle that, you know, he's worked for in a relatively short off-season phase. And our main goal of just bringing more symmetry up top to the lower body is definitely paid its dues. So it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited for the process, and we'll take you along, you know, sort of as we transition further into Steve's prep, and obviously show day itself, and we'll take you on that entire journey. So yeah, it's been productive, but we'll call it a day there, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if anyone's got any questions, if you enjoy the content and you're not already subbed, drop a subscribe, and we look forward to bringing you the next one. Cheers, guys.